So Marjorie Taylor Greene, surprise, said something stupid on the internet. But I have a clip for you, and it may be one of the dumbest clips of Marjorie Taylor Greene to date. And you know how high of a bar that is to climb over.
They want you to be required to have something called a COVID passport. And this would mandate your ability to be able to travel, your ability to be able to go to events, your ability to be able to buy and sell. And I asked the question earlier today, is this something like Biden's mark of the beast? Because that is really disturbing and not good. Oh, if you're going to come into the football game or the baseball game or the concert, you need your vaccine passport because we're trying to do a good job to keep everyone safe. This is what the Biden administration is trying to talk to these private companies into doing. Well, let's analyze that. You see, it's still the same thing. It's still fascism or communism, whatever you want to call it, but it's coming from private companies. So I have a term for that. I call it corporate communism.
So that was Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman. She should be expelled. She's been removed from her committees, and she is saying that a COVID passport is simultaneously Biden's mark of the beast, but also a form of quote-unquote corporate communism. This is bonkers, guys. It is not unreasonable for institutions, public or private, to demand that people entering their establishments practice basic health and safety. That is my opinion. And so if a business can ask you to wear a shirt or wear shoes or those sorts of things, it can also ask that you do everything you can to ensure that the rest of the people are safe. And so I have no issue with companies or the government even demanding that access to certain spaces be cordoned off if you refuse to get the vaccine. Because again, not every person will be able to get it. And so to ensure herd immunity and to ensure that those people are protected, we need literally everyone else to get it. And if you want to go into these high density public places, whether it's a football stadium or whether it's a certain building or what have you, or whether it's a mall, it is not unreasonable to ask for you to be vaccinated if you are eligible and able to get that vaccine. If it doesn't, if you're not some sort of person that can't get it for a medical reason or what have you. This is not communism. This is wild, right? Right-wingers twist themselves into pretzels over this. Because on the one hand, they would absolutely lose their mind even more if Joe Biden or any other Democratic president was like, hey, we want the federal government or state and local governments to create COVID passports, vaccine passports, to ensure that everyone gets vaccinated and you won't be able to go anywhere without the quote-unquote passport. But all Biden is saying is that, companies should perhaps work to demand proof of vaccination before entering. These are private businesses. Again, Republicans are supposed to always be about private companies doing what they want, entrepreneurs doing what they want, capital doing what it wants. The capitalist is the most important person and they drive American society. And so capitalists get to decide what happens in their business, what happens in their restaurant, what happens in their stadium. And if they want to tell people you can't come in if you're not wearing a shirt, they should also be able to tell people you can't come in if you haven't gotten this medical procedure that keeps everyone around you and yourself safe. That's not communism, right? That's capitalism. That is capitalism. These right-wingers always love to talk about how much they love capitalism, but whenever capitalists make a choice they don't like the capitalists that own the Dr. Seuss book stopping to publish some of the Dr. Seuss books, they flip out. What they don't want is capitalism, or they do want capitalism, but what they want is a capitalism that never, ever, ever, ever disagrees with them, right? There's nothing communist about this. There's nothing. It's just absurd, guys. Get your vaccines. This isn't really a choice about freedom. It isn't. It isn't. Denying life-saving medication isn't freedom. And it's not as if these things don't exist. It's not as if there's not a precedent for these sorts of vaccine passports. If you go to school in most places in Canada and the United States and many other developed and developing countries, you often can't go to school unless you're up on your vaccines, because it's unsafe for the few people that can't get it, and it's unsafe for that child. And most people are reasonable enough to say that this is not an infringement upon freedom, but if anything, protects us all to live free from fear from goddamn illness. So Marjorie Taylor Greene just needs to go away. She's not sitting on any committees. She's spreading lies. She's spreading conspiracy. She's a goddamn congresswoman that doesn't even know what communism or capitalism is, couldn't define those terms if you gave her a dictionary. She just needs to go. She just needs to go. Don't listen to people like this. Everyone needs to get the vaccine, and I have no issue if bodies, public or private, enforce vaccination through access. I have no issue with that. If you don't want to get it, you can stay at home. Isolate yourself from society for all I care, but don't complain that people don't want to be around you.